Alright then, so I hope this works. There we go. So the Xbox controller is hooked up, and I have officially set up Rayman Arena on the PC, which is being ran on a PS2 emulator. Now, I did play Rayman M on I don't know what to call myself. Yeah, that'll do. So I did play the European version of this, but apparently the American version has a few differences, so I'm going to try the American version. The only way I could actually get the American version to work in any capacity was through an emulator, because obviously I can't run NTSC games on my PS2. Okay, so from what I'm seeing, all the levels are the same and the menus are the same as the British version. So that's interesting. I'm not really seeing any differences so far, but I guess we'll see. I heard the differences are kind of subtle and minor, so that's good. Oh, it's got the Rayman rush thing of being able to freeze your opponent. Yep. But that's not in the European version. In the European version you just get the purple lumps, which basically allow you to push buttons, but the purple lumps do nothing on your opponent. In fact, these things are reserved for the battle mode. There's like a mini game where you have to collect items and you can freeze each other to stop each other from getting the items. So this level, First Ruins, is actually identical to the European one. I've not noticed any differences. I mean, I haven't exactly got a side-by-side comparison, but shit. I noticed as well the freeze effect isn't as good as it was on the European one. In fact, the graphics of the European version are a little better, admittedly. But that could just be the PS2 emulation software. And for the record, I did try to get this to run on a proper NTSC. Ah, these are new. From what I recall, that isn't a thing on the European version. You just have like a bare edge where you can just fall off at any moment, making that a lot harder. But on the European version, sorry, on the US version, they put like little barriers up. I also noticed as well that if you get electrocuted or whatever, there's actually a mash triangle button instead of in the European version. You just sort of have to guess that that's the case. Admittedly, it's good for first-time players, but for a veteran player like me, it just makes the UI look a bit messy. But that's okay. Okay, so that was First Ruins. Like, it's still got that depressing lack of music as everyone just stares off into space or looks horribly depressed. Oh, and they got that cool computer scanner load screen. That's untouched. Yeah, sure, I'll save. I'm not sure if this is going to crash at any point. Oh, right, yeah, sorry. We'll play as the pirate henchman. See, that's what I'm used to. Oh, what? Oh no. I'm off to a fantastic start. Have I mentioned that I've been playing this game since I was like 7? Screw you. Ah, that's what I thought, bitch. So that's a bit different as well. It says back to main menu if you care on the European version. So that's different. Oh yeah, I'll change characters so that people can see what they all look like. And I can see if there's any differences as well. Alright, so the next one we'll do is Nebulous Tower. Not going to bother with training because that's just like a sort of sandboxy mode. Like, all you do is just run endless laps and try to beat your lap record, which is a nice option to have, I guess, but you never use it once you realise that, you know. You see, that's what you always get on the European version. It's the purple lums. You don't get this freeze attack, as I said earlier. God, this is really surreal, because I never really imagined I'd ever play this, so this is really cool. I never knew what to expect, but as a kid I always imagined it was like a completely different game, but from the looks of it, it's like a beta version of the game that I grew up with. Ah, shit. Sometimes I can get through the whole thing without triggering any of those, but this is not one of those times. I used to be fucking amazing at this game. I mean, I'm still pretty decent, given that I haven't touched it for about 3 or 4 years, but I think the last time I did this was that Stand Up to Cancer one, and I did On and On, which as a kid of like 7, On and On was like the biggest challenge I'd ever beaten, and now I just do it in 20 minutes and call it a day. It shows how pathetic I was when I was a kid. So this, well, not this one, but Rayman M, the European version, was actually the first game I bought on PS2. I got it free with a console, in the sort of, because it was like the only multiplayer game that they had that appealed to me. So I bought this, and it started a whole new chapter in my life. I'm pretty sure any game I would have bought that day would have started a whole new chapter in my life, though. Fucking Legend of Black Cat probably would have done so. I'm not sure if you can keep that out on the European one, or if that's the same. Shit. One of my favourite maps in this game is Treasure Hunt, because you can basically overlap other players, and it's actually really funny when you do it. Because you can overlap them sometimes by like 2 or 3 laps, especially if you've got a turbo controller. This is one game as well where turbo means turbo, because you can hook it up to the triangle button, so you just end up like, it's like hammering it 1,000 times, and you go like Sonic the Hedgehog speed. It's amazing. I love that shit. I always kind of hated Glowbox's face there. I just wanted to punch him because he looks so damn pleased with himself. Dick. Right, so so that's another level. Oh, I've unlocked the Popolopi level, which I believe is French for butterflies. I'll play as Razorbeard, I guess, for the next one. So this one's Rise and Shrine, which is actually my favourite map in the game, at least my favourite battle map. I like everything. I like the music in this, but I also like the way it looks. I also love as well, if I get a chance, I'll show you, but like it has like this really nice backdrop as well. Shit. Yeah, like, I love that effect, where it actually... Well, it looked like, when I was a kid, that, you know, it actually had a whole backdrop behind it. Yeah, it doesn't look as good now, I have to admit. My nostalgia goggles have, like, cracked and revealed, Yeah, nobody speaks English in this game, they just all speak some weird gibberish language and you're just supposed to sort of deal with it. I haven't actually thought to do PS2 emulation because when I was... It first became a thing in like 2009 and my friend basically warned me at the time, if you don't have a decent enough computer to run it, then you are going to have problems. And I have to admit, at the time, I probably didn't have a good enough computer to run PS2 emulation. But now, I don't know. I feel like I do. At the time, I used to have a few PS2 releases on my PC that were, like, you know, the PS2 versions... sorry, the PC versions of games like Hitman Blood Money, and I'd struggle to run them. So... I mean, at the time I didn't think I did, but looking back, the footage is like 7 FPS. Because I tried to use some of it for one of my videos a while back, and it was completely useless. Yeah, I can't be bothered standing there and... Oh yeah, I forgot to change character. Shit. Oh well. No! I'm the fastest grandpa in the world! So, yeah, so far this has been kind of interesting, but I have to admit, from the way some of it was described to me, just reading cheats and stuff over the years online, and seeing some of the stuff on RayWiki, I was kind of expecting this to be a very different experience. Silly me. But I'm gonna see, apparently there are different costumes. Some of them featured in the European version on, like, screenshots and in... like, loading screens and cutscenes and background shit, but weren't in the game, so I've always wanted to see what they were like, because there are some really weird and cool ideas for costumes that just never made the European cut for some reason. Which, makes me sad. Especially when I was little. I would have actually killed for a Rayman Arena European port, even if it was the same game. I probably would have bought it. Like, even if I could own Arena and M next to each other, I would actually have been so damn happy, even though it's the same shit. I have to admit, visually, I really like this game still. I mean, it's a 2001 game, and I have to say, like, a lot of the way the textures and whatnot feel like they've done a decent job of standing the test of time to me. Like, it's not, you know, flawless and just as good today as it looked years ago, but I have to admit, like, whenever I revisit an old game, I'm always like, this is gonna look shit compared to what it was, but no, this is actually okay. I actually don't mind this. I just noticed I've got an FPS count in the corner. It's running at a decent 59.9 to 60 FPS, which is nice. Okay, so next we do Rayman. I'm not going to move on to the next area. I think I'm just going to do these ones and see what I unlock, and then move on to the next area. I don't know why I've had to fight Pirate Henchman in every single one of these. Oh no, wait, no, it was the Tintsies last time, wasn't it? I like this level as well. This is a... Although when I was a kid, I used to have problems loading this level on my copy. And for years I thought that it was just completely broken, that you couldn't play it. But thankfully, no, that wasn't the case and I could load it. Oh, another thing as well I really like about this game is the soundtrack. I recently downloaded the whole soundtrack for this. I really like it as a thing. And apparently Rayman Arena has even more things on its soundtrack. But apparently a lot of them are like hidden away on the cheat codes.
Welche neugierige Paprischen.